Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we're going to do a top 8 breakdown for a Battle Spirit Saga event that I ran. It was a pre-grand open to get you guys ready for the grand opens that we're having in the next 2 months, including the Palm Springs ones. That's going to be this upcoming weekend too, so really looking forward to that. I will be there, and if you guys are new to the channel, one, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Doing a lot of BSS content. I'll probably be doing the topping of list from the Palm Springs event and just everything else about it, so really committed to getting a lot of information for you guys out there, as well as if you guys are new and you don't know about my website, make sure to check that out as well. Not only do I have this event, but I have every launch event for this game, all the major events that have just a bunch of deck lists and just a good resource for a lot of people trying to get on into it. But going on into this breakdown, last thing, it was streamed on my Twitch, which is linked here in the description, as well as on this page, which is also linked in the description, and it will be re-uploaded to YouTube within the week. I'm probably aiming it for be like Friday, since I know a lot of people will be traveling for the event too, so just something for people to watch if they need that. So anyways, in this top 8, and this was a 25-person event too, was webcam, and we did have 3 copies of red Terrasaur, with one of them taking the event, 2 white controls, 1 yellow luster, 1 white aggro, and 1 purple aggro in our top 8. And I also did branch it out based on the how they did as well. So 4-0, 2 tied in the last round, and 3-3. So we only had 4 rounds for this event, and it was mostly just a time constriction, since that's 4 hours, which across a couple time zones is pretty good. So we were going to cut off at 4 anyways, but we did get one undefeated after 4 rounds too, so it worked out there. But anyways, we're going to go over our top placing list for each one of these archetypes, starting off with our first place one. So here is Alex Blandin's list, and Alex is pretty known for this deck already. He did get second at the North American launch event, and honestly I think that Terrasaur is probably the strongest deck going into this format. It's very, very strong for what it does. There's a lot of aggression that it can do. It's very fantastic at going very aggressive very quickly, and just being very strong in that way. So obviously he did place with this list, and also we're only going over the main decks. If you guys want the side decks, you can check them out in the description. But yeah, I do see some immediate differences from his list that he got second place with, including having 1 copy of Durn Dyna in the main, including also not having only having 3 Starblast draws in the main and none of the charge draw either. So not as much drawing in this build as I like the traditional one that he ran previously. Also 2 copies of Suppression, which is honestly a really, really flexible card. This can be either aggressive or defensive. So being able to attack with a Giganorex, which is a 10k, and if they try to attack, you can Suppression on top of it, which means that they have to attack into it. And it's also like a 13k, which can be really good for like the mirror. I could see at times too. So as long as like the confront's not there, but yeah, being able to Suppression, also Suppression with Dino Man is really great. It's a 9k for pretty cheap too. So you're not really using a lot of cores for that, and just kind of a big wall, like just like another copy of Absolute Ice Shield if you need it as well. So I don't know, this is a very strong deck. Again, I think it's like the best deck going into this format. Maybe edging out like white control, but very strong, and I'm definitely going to expect some of these at the topping list for our event this weekend. So here's that there, and then also we have next up we have Isacc's second place white control list. And again, like the strength that is, this deck is just really obnoxious at getting a lot of control aspects to it, and just having if you're able to set up and be very defensive, a lot of decks can't really do anything about it. I would say like the main the Pega right here is just very, very good at being obnoxious. Being able to be 7,000 at 5 cores is quite a bit, but 7,000 is great, especially since you can block stuff with 2 or fewer cores on it, so it just stops it. And with the armor, like this is your best bet at trying to get some like slow down of like how Terrasaur is doing really well. You also have just a bunch of other defensive Snowflake, and I also like a lot too. I think this is fantastic for you, being able to bounce something with Confront back to their hand, which can include the Giganorex is really strong there too. Like Rocket City, like the city. And honestly, like the only thing about this deck in general is that you're really, really dependent on seeing the pieces that you need when you need them. There's a lot of times when you just strictly won't see them, unfortunately. And so since you don't have a lot of draw, like you're putting in the Starblast draws in this build just to get some semblance of draw at times, but at the other times when you do set up, you just feel like you're unstoppable. Elk with Suppression is such a good combo. Dragonship Enterprise with Suppression can be too. Mega Beast Fortress Nubengard is fantastic if you're able to play it quickly, which you can with the Fortress City as well. So really good deck. I think that we're going to see a lot of these decks in Palm Springs as well, and especially since White Control did win the North American finals here. I think a lot of people have their eyes on this deck, and it's just very, very strong for what it is. So here's this list. Congrats again to Isacc, and then third place third place was real quick. Third place was Joella with the red Terrasaur. So there was they did tie, so it was like a tied second place, honestly. But anyways, we're going to go over to our fourth place list. So this is Kamptner's yellow luster build. And when I dropped a video a couple days ago going over my thoughts, at least my builds, my favorite decks going into this format, and a couple builds for it. And I didn't put a yellow deck for that. And a lot of people were like, oh, is yellow not relevant? Is it not good? And I'll say it's probably the least best color of the four, but that doesn't mean it's not playable. Honestly, I just didn't have a list that I was really comfortable with, and I didn't want to I didn't want to put out a list that I knew wasn't really great, or at least wasn't optimized when you guys are trying to get into this game and kind of put like a fake deck list out there. So I just didn't make one in my video. I do think that yellow does have some chances. It does essentially have two builds. It has luster, and it has like the two beast. I guess it has three. It has like the luster version. It has the 2-drop version, and then also has like the fabled beast version. So I do think fabled beast is going to get a little bit stronger with the addition of Dual Eagle, which was not legal for this event or for Palm Springs. Any of the store promos after that event, they will be. So that will shake up the meta a little bit too. But going on into this one, like the Michaela does a lot for this. I know you're only running 2, but it can be very great. Honestly, like this is, I think, probably one of the strongest cards in yellow. And just the fact that you can't consistently get to her right now means that the deck's not very good. But if you can use this card, it can definitely abuse a lot of like the good magic cards this game has. Like especially since like the color identity doesn't really matter for this stuff. Like you can just use any color of magic cards. So obviously you're running Sunblessed Draw, Burning Force, Volcanic Break, Absolute Ice Shield, like all these are very good. And then just a bunch of good like battle tricks. So like Angelic Pressure, like a lot of decks are running this too. And if you want to beat white, I think yellow is probably the best way to do so right now, consistently, just because like they tend not to have any armor effects against yellow specifically. And since they're a little bit slower to start up, you do get some time to start up, get your pieces, and then get your combo with luster a lot of the time. So I think that's something to kind of look into. And if you guys are interested in yellow, I think a deck like this could be very good moving forward. And I would expect it to have an edge on like the white control matchup at times. Again, just because they don't have a lot of ways to get around your some of your destruction, like again with your yellow stuff, as well as you can really have some time to set up, which is really good. So anyways, this is Nom's list. Congratulations to their 4th place finish there. Next up, we have our 6th place list. So this is Wyatt McDonald's list, which is also, technically, it's Brandon Bremit's list from the North American event as well. Did get top 32. Wyatt was using essentially card for card, at least in the main deck for it. He did have a different side for it, but honestly, this deck does a lot better. Like when this topped in North America, I was a little bit surprised just how good something like this is. White's normally known for being like a really defensive color, but what that also means is that you just have like stronger power like earlier, if that makes sense. So like 4K with 3 cores is very good. Like this bullet ray, a 3K for 1 core, and it's only a 2 is fantastic for you. Regain can also just like win you the game at times. A lot of the time, like being able, if you're able to get a lot of bodies on the board and they're higher than average DP, and then you're able to get that bonus there, that's really strong. So you see just a bunch of vanilla cards and also just like more tempo stuff. So Valkyrie's missed, very good for that too. Pegasus still is just a good card for just setting up as well. Heavy Barrel, which is good for going like 1 for something with a 1 summon effect. And then also Germ Dyna to potentially just end the game. Make all of your attacks unblockable, which means that your opponent's going to have a hard time getting around it. So a very, very strong deck when it goes off. I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but I do think like it's really cool to see that there's more than one way to play white, because most of the people are playing traditionally just the control variant, but I think this deck can be very well. You do have to. There's no like card draw in this, so that's I think like the worst part of it. And you do have to see your Derm Dynas, especially against white control at times. But in general, I think this deck is very competent. So congrats to Wyatt for their 6th place there. And to wrap it on up, we do have one purple list, and it's not even I would say like soul control. So we didn't really see as many of those this week, but especially not at these top tables. But we do have kind of like the more aggressive variant for this one. I honestly didn't know on my little pie chart who to put there, so I decided to put the Boa Trictor. If you guys have like a better one for this, let me know. I can maybe change it. But you just kind of, it's just like a purple mash deck. It feels like you just have like a bunch of good bodies. Like Camelot Knight trades into things very well. Dark Knight Aglavale also does that too. Rotting Swamp, being able to draw a card when one of your spirits is destroyed is great, especially it's not once per turn. If you're playing, attacking with a bunch of cursed things, your opponent either has to take the damage or they have to trade with you, which is great, and then you get like a draw. And then also the King Snake being able to get essentially a draw once you play it, which is great. The only issue with this deck is that there's just so many when summoned effects, which means that if you're playing against something with red or anything with blessed draw, then you're giving them a lot of free value from there. But also just the fact that you have like just a bunch of 4s and 5s to get back with your Bodegor and get some recycle off that is really great. Especially with like the Rotten Swamp. There's also the Abandoned Guillotine, which just all your Shadow Spears gets +2 BP, which is actually important too. So a lot of our cards are shadows. Pretty much everything but the 2 serpents right here. And then also, if none of your opponent's spirits are exhausted during your start step, select one of them, remove all but one of his cores, and place it into your opponent's reserve. So interesting kind of piece there, but being able to remove cores like that is really nice. So anyways, a really interesting list there. We did see like a little bit of purple aggro, at least in the North American top 32 also. And the amount of recursion, especially like Bodegor just gets so much recursion for you. It's very, very good. It just gets like passive draw when you see it. And then also Depths is a good card. Rotting Swamp can get you some card draw and just kind of everything else. So this list. Congrats to Travis for their finish on that one. And that's going to be our video today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I do appreciate all the support. And also everyone who participated in this event. I'm really happy that it was a success and it was well received. So we'll see if we do more in the future. If you guys are going to be in Palm Springs, please let me know. I will definitely be there. So make sure to say hi. And that should be it for me. And also shout outs to Espira for being my co-commentator. I almost forgot, but did not. Thank you very much for him. Make sure to follow him on YouTube. I would appreciate that too. And that should be it for us. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you all next time.